Welcome, students, to Unit 2, Absolute Value Functions and Equations. In this video, we're going to look at what is the absolute value parent function, and it's on the back of the table of contents. Absolute value means the distance a number is from 0. For example, the absolute value of -5 equals 5 because, draw a number line, here's 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So the distance from 0 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the absolute value of -5 equals 5 because -5 is 5 spaces away. There's the word away again. 5 spaces away from 0. So let's graph the parent function. So starting with if x is -3, then what's the absolute value of x? So if x is -3, -3 is 1, 2, 3 spaces from 0, so the absolute value of -3 is 3. Same with -2, we have 2 spaces. -1 is 1 space from 0. 0 is on 0, so 0. The number 1 is 1 space from 0. The number 2 is 2 spaces from 0. And the number 3 is 3 spaces from 0. So basically, absolute value makes negative numbers positive and keeps positive numbers positive. Well, I'm going to go ahead and graph that. So -3, 3, -2, 2, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and so on. So you can draw on your graph like that. Then the domain of this function, the x values, so notice if I go from left to right, there's an arrow here, which means I can keep going to the left forever. So my domain is -infinity to, then I can keep going forever again to the right. So my domain is -infinity to +infinity, which is the same as saying x is an element of the real numbers. So all real numbers. The range, though, I can only have positives. So the range of the parent function, my lowest y value is 0, but I can head up. I can go as high as I want. So my range is going to be 0 to infinity, including 0, because I have an actual point there. And infinity always gets a parentheses. And then in inequality notation, I can write it as 0 is less than or equal to y is less than infinity. Or sometimes you'll see this written as, so these are different options, these are different ways of writing it. Sometimes I'll see this written as y is greater than or equal to 0, and they'll just skip the infinity part. It means the same thing. So the absolute value of a number can be positive or 0, but never negative. And then evaluate each of the following. So example 1, what is the absolute value of -3? Well, we already did that. The absolute value of -3 is 3. Now example 2, the absolute value of x minus y when x equals 3 and y equals 1.5. So just plug those values in. So I'm doing the absolute value of 3 minus 1.5, which is the absolute value of 1.5, which is just 1.5. So 1.5 or 1.5 is 1.5 spaces from 0. And if you want to put that in your calculator, at least if you'd like to learn how to put that in your calculator, absolute value is in this menu right here. And right there. So it's the first one on the second row. So then I could have done 3 minus 1.5, and it would just give me 1.5. You can also type ABS parentheses. So ABS parentheses 3 minus 1.5. And you get the same thing, and it changes it to fancy symbolism for you. So either way. Example 3, what is the absolute value of 0? Well, you go ahead and try that now. Example 4, what is the absolute value of 10 times 2 plus 3? Go ahead and give that a shot. And finally, what is the absolute value of negative 3/4? And it is 3/4.